Nicky Hawkins outside the London Stadium, West Ham fan TV. Mike, I'm laughing because Ryan's just made a joke, but we're smiling all the way tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't see that at the start of the game. Obviously, going 1-0 down in the fashion that we went 1-0 down, just couldn't see us coming back into that game because it just looked like we lacked everything that a football game needs. We lacked everything that you need to play at this level. You know, lacked desire, lacked passion, lacked fight,
Pace.
Yeah, pace. It just looked like we were scared to play the ball. It almost looked like when when we were 1-0 down, even before then, that we were scared to go forward because we were too afraid that we were going to concede. Against West Brom, for goodness sake, come on. West Brom were like bottom of the league before they played Arsenal. You know, and I know they got a good point against Arsenal. You know, some people might say they didn't deserve a point against Arsenal, but it was a hard-earned point against Arsenal.
I'm sure they were thinking the same tonight.
Yeah, that probably gave them the impetus to sort of come into this game thinking to themselves, right, you know, they get really nervous at home. Their fans get nervous if we go, 1-0 up, then they're gonna struggle, and it just, it just looked like that everyone was just not. Really, in the first half especially, I just thought to myself, what is going on here? It just looked like a Sunday League game. Honestly, it just looked like they were, not interested, not going forward.
The midfield were non-existent,
I don't even need to talk about the midfield because you know what I'm going to say about the midfield. There's one player I'm going to single out about the midfield, Kouyate. I don't usually swear in there, but fuck off, mate. Honestly, Kouyate needs to go find the nearest exit door to our club and leave because he offers nothing in that midfield, nothing at all. I heard some people saying, "Oh, he was better in the second half." I don't think so. I don't know where, and I've heard clowns saying that. Even I ain't saying who, and I'm not singling people out here, but I've heard people saying that he had a good game against Bournemouth. What game were they watching then? But honestly, like at half time, I just thought to myself, there's no way we're going to come back into this game unless they actually put, like, Moyes really gives them a rock out their arse, and that's what he did. And I think, obviously, with the introduction of Noble for Obiang, I'm actually surprised that Obiang went off, to be honest. I thought Kouyate would go off.
I thought they both was bad at each other, mate. No one was putting a foot in.
Well, do you know what? We know that Obiang and Kouyate and Obiang, just don't go. But I mean, I said even before our time, I said we need to bring on Noble to give us a little bit of bite in the midfield. People around me laughed at me. Look what happened in the second half.
Changed the game, mate.
Absolutely changed the game. Really did. I was actually thinking when I saw the starting lineups, I thought, well, Reed shouldn't have been brought back into the side. Obviously, Collins is whatever is going on with him. He's injured or what? I don't know. Apparently, there could be a contract dispute there or something there. Maybe that's why he was left out. I was actually surprised to see Carroll starting today because I actually thought that given the slow defence of West Brom, I actually thought that we'd end up playing Ayew, and I thought Ayew would run at them, and it seemed to be very one-dimensional, and I think we gave West Brom we basically gave them almost a tip, like, this is how we're playing the game. We're going to end up lumping the ball up to Andy Carroll, and there were no real crosses going into Andy Carroll, and there were a lot of players in that first. I mean, there were so many players out there today that had a mare. I think Cresswell, Masaraku, I thought had an absolute mare today. But look, I mean, I ain't going to stand there and say that Moyes got the tactics right. I mean, obviously, 2 well-taken goals by Carroll. Christ knows how we got that in for the winner. And I just, when 4 minutes went up, I thought, yeah, it's just, it's going to end up being being a ball draw. And, we end up coming away with 3 points. Like, brilliant. I'm so happy. But we're still not out of it. I mean, I think what we need now is to build up a run of games. We need to build up a run of wins. Obviously, on Thursday against Tottenham, and might not be the case. But, look, it's a London derby. If that doesn't lift the players, then what will, as far as I'm concerned? Yeah. And then obviously, we'll probably see a very much weakened side against Shrewsbury on Sunday. But look, onwards and upwards. I mean, we hadn't won in 4 games? Was it 4 or 5 games since we won it here against Chelsea? Yeah. So that was, and arguably, obviously, we should have won on Boxing Day against Bournemouth. And we were obviously very hard done by there in that game. But just imagine, if we had won on that game and we obviously come here and won. But we've done to West Brom.
Would have been fighting for Champions League.
Well, no, I'm not saying that. I mean, obviously, it would have just been nice to get a bit of momentum going, just a few runs of wins going, I mean, just imagine if we had beaten Newcastle, before. I mean,
you know
I
what they
those
say,
games
Mike.
have got-
Mike, you know what they say.
Onwards and upwards.
If wishes were fishes, the world would be an ocean.
Well, onwards and upwards.
Well, we'll leave
isn't
it there.
Happy New Year
Cheers,
to
mate.
everyone.
Happy New Year to
Yeah,
you as
Happy
well,
New
mate.
Year,
Thank you.
guys.